called sword, and it's literally as simple as copying and pasting and naming it sword, and it's just that easy because of the base class. So, and then we're going to have one called great sword, if I could type, and we're literally going to do the exact same thing, which is super awesome. And then we're going to do another one, and it's going to be an axe. And again, here we go. How easy peasy is this? And then we have great axe. That. And then let's see, we have a mace. I know this is the boring part. I'm just kind of. Oh, you know what I didn't put in there, which would have made sense. I could have actually had a base class that I never had to modify. I could have just put in what it was right off the bat. But if we decide to do things like affixes and stuff, I would like to be able to add them into the weapon. So if it has an affix on it, then or it doesn't. So yeah, that wouldn't work. This is much better, much better. Nice. And we're gonna add another class that's gonna be called Leo. And same old, just coming up in here and doing what I need to do. And then we have a spear. Oh, actually we have one-handed and two-handed spears. So 1H spear and Control B. It's going to be underscore 1H spear. The underscore keeps it from thinking that it's something important. And then we add the 2H spear, which is also an underscore to make sure that we don't screw it up, because I don't like numbers in the start. And then we have those are all our melees. Stabs, crossbow, can do it, bow. That's all our melees. Okay, so we're done with that portion of it. So now if we go in, and if we were to go back into Unity and let it compile itself here, you let my little dude there, he's not important. That was from a different video that I screwed up the audio on and nobody could hear it after they watched it again. And why are you missing a monoscript? You shouldn't be. Oh, that's right, I moved it. Duh. Alright, so I'm gonna show you kind of what happens. We're gonna call this knife, because I can't freaking. And then we're gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna call this mace, and then duplicate it, and we're gonna call this spear. And to show you kind of how easy it will be for us to kind of make weapons. Oops. Uh-oh. Naming convention is causing issues. Can't have that. Alright, now I should be able to add my spear on here. We're going to make it a two-handed spear. Alright, so now I'm going to make this a one-handed knife. I didn't make a subtype, but I shouldn't have named it. I should have named this differently to kind of show you. Bob's Magical Butcher Knife of amazingness. Nope, amazingness. There. Now it's a knife, as we added the knife to it. It's a one-handed knife, and it's not any of that stuff, obviously. And it's say it has a range of 2. It's a big old butcher knife, just for the sake of it. It's super rare. Bob's Magical Butcher Knife is not easily found, and it's nothing of that. And it doesn't do splash damage either. Okay, so we're gonna have that, and then this is gonna be Kirby's Paint, MS Paint Mace of Doom, and then it's a two-handed mace, and we're gonna set it to mace here, and you know what? I was right. We didn't have to do that. Didn't have to do that. Dang it! Why do I not think to myself and say, hey, there's an easier way to go about this? So, in that case, we're going to get rid of all this. We're going back. Actually, we're not. We're going to keep Kirby's MS Paint Mace of Doom. I'm going to show you something that I should have done. Delete. Yes. Now we're going to create a new C# file. We're going to call this melee weapon. Very simple. Very, very simple. Yes. Alright, so I'm well aware that those are gone. Can you not do this to me right now? Why is it doing this to me? Why must it hate me? There we go. Now that we fix that properly, we're going to put these in like so. Yes, I know I haven't derived it yet. Calm yourself. So now, that makes more sense. Because really, it was a melee weapon. I have the base class and the melee weapon. Which, if things change, like, this will only work. The reason I made the base class is because things may change over time, and the game may evolve. But as it stands right now, the weapons themselves are set by types, and then the damages and stuff are done accordingly to that. So if we end up having a deal where a mace actually does specifically something different, then that way I can add stuff in, and I can call this a mace and move on. But really the affixes and stuff like that will all be done in the combat scripts and all that stuff. This is just to set what each thing is. And it does look like I made 2 of the same classes. Technically I did, except this allows me to future-proof myself. Not really future-proof it, but it allows me to go back and say, okay, well actually the mace is going to do this specifically, and that way I can put the mace class on a mace and still have all this stuff available without retyping it. Because if I go using this class to do all my code in, then any weapon that gets attached to it, so I would have to actually go in and be like, we'll just say it's attack. Okay, say the mace is attacking. I would have to go in here and I'd have to be like, if this dot name dot contains knife, then we're going to do something. And then else if this dot name dot contains mace, we're gonna do something. You know, and I don't like that. Actually, that's just bad coding in general. It shouldn't be done. So that's why we make a base class and have it ready to be modified at a moment's notice. And say Kirby comes back and says, hey, I decided to put a grip on them and I need to change the grip on these things. So then I can just do this, and I can do grips, and I can do none that has no grip. It's just a stick. And then we have leather equals 1, and animal, fur, old Vikings or whatever, equals 2. And then what I can do then is I go, oh, okay, fine, it has a different grip, that's not a big deal. And then I can go in here and I can say public grips, weapon grip. And what that does is it allows me to quickly modify the base class of this weapon without touching a bunch of other things. We're actually going to get rid of that because we don't need it. There's not actually any grips, but now that I mentioned it, Kirby's going to be like, that's a fantastic idea, we should put grips in that do different things. And I'm going to tell him, no, let's not. So now that we've done that, and I've done this properly, the way it should have been done from the beginning, I can kind of show you what I was talking about. So this is the melee weapon, and it's a two-handed mace, and it's got a range of 2. It's a big old mace, and it's uncommon, and it doesn't have any sort of variant, and it's got splash damage. So Kirby's MS Paint Mace of Doom is right there. That's what we have. Now, if we were to create another one and name it Cody's Paintbrush of Destruction, then we would have, and it's a paintbrush, so it's going to be like a shiv, just something small. So we're going to do melee weapon, and it's one-handed little thing. It's a knife. It's only got a short range. It's rare. Not many people have Cody's paintbrush, and it's going to be a shiv. It's a short little thing. It has no affixes. Okay, so we have that one, right? And now we create another one, and it can be like Frank's. Well, I don't know, Frank's pencil. No, it's something better than that. Frank's mighty. We're gonna have to go pencil, Frank. I'm sorry. That's all I got. And then we'll put a base in, and it's a one-handed sword. It's a great sword, but it'd probably be two-handed if it's a great sword. We're gonna do 2 hands. It has a range of 2. It's uncommon. People can get a hold of his pencil, so, and that is not a sexual reference. Just so you know. And it has no variance. It's not a longbow. It's definitely a sword, but it has splash damage. It really won't, but obviously for testing purposes. Okay, so we've made these 3 weapons, right? And this is what I was telling Kirby I was gonna do for him, where he could make basically any weapon he wanted to out of it. So he literally could have a two-handed knife for some reason that is really long, and that's what I told him I was going to do, was make it where he could make a weapon. Now what we could do is we go in here for assets, and we'll put this as weapon prefabs. Why do I have an email? Uh-oh. Lose your mouse, guys. Can't figure out where it went, because I just did that. There we go. Okay. Can we not be dumb? I don't care. Okay, so now if we go into weapon prefabs, and we can drag these down here, and down here, and down here. Okay, and then I'm going to delete these. No, don't do that. Oops. Control and that one, and we're going to delete these. But you just made them. But that's okay, because the way that I made them, they'll go right back to the way they were. So Cody's paintbrush, we can attach to anybody, and it will always be a one-handed knife with a range of 1. That's rare. It's a shiv and has